Good morning everybody, welcome to Climbing Bean Garden Bed today. This is one of the bigger beds I have here at Little Patch. Now today I am getting this one ready. I have tomato seedlings that are bursting at their seams that need to go in here. So this is about a 9 by 2.5, 3 meter wide garden bed, depending which end you're standing at, because one end is slightly thinner than the other. I use railway track around the edge to give it an edging, and I ran out of railway track, so I have found some old poles that I'm putting around the edges to protect my reticulation once that goes in. So there's a lot of work to be done in this garden bed today before I can put my tomato seedlings in here. So these are the seedlings out of the greenhouse. As you can see, they are bursting, absolutely requiring it to come out of these pots. Some of them, like this one, have been not too happy about being moved outside, but they are out here. These guys I had to move out of the greenhouse because I was going to be away for 3 days and they needed to be watered, and the only way that was going to happen is if I had them out here in the garden bed with the automatic retic. So this is the 1,000,001 tomato plants that is going to be going over there in Climbing Bean Garden Bed. Now, why are they going into Climbing Bean Garden Bed this year instead of down in a snow pea where the trellises already are? Well, Snow Pea Garden Bed has some issues with the soil down there, and if you want to know what that is, I'll link the video up the top there for you and at the end so that you can check that out. So I've got a whole heap of issues down in that garden bed and I need to get that sorted out before I start planting things in. Welcome to Little Patch. My name's Kim, and if you ever wanted to learn how to grow, preserve and use your own food, you're in the right spot. This community is here to help you guys learn how to do that. So hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with all the new videos that are going to be coming out over this coming season, and we will see you out in the garden, in the kitchen, in the pantry, or wherever we happen to be today. What you doing? Did you put it? Yes. No, you're going to eat me. Flies are bad at the moment. So I am doing some trellising up in here. I have gone and picked myself up some brand new 7-foot star pickets. I'm going to run some wire lines down them. I'm going to do 3 rows in here, 1 on each end. So I'm going to do 3 rows in here, 1 down this edge here, 1 down the middle, and 1 down this edge here. So I'm going to do the ones down the edge as close as I can to the edge so that I can harvest them from the outside and the inside and still get to the row in the middle. So that hopefully will be completed by the end of today, and planting those in. I figured that before I start spreading out the compost that I'm putting here in the garden bed, that I would quickly show you the soil difference in this garden bed, so that over the season you can see how much of a difference it will most likely and will probably impact the tomato plants that are going in here. So on this end of Climbing Bean, which is the front side, yes, my quad is in there with the trailer because the trailer gets too heavy for me to pull it, so I work smart, not hard. So this end here, when I started this garden bed last year, this top end, probably about 1/4 of the way down this bed, maybe not quite to where that crate's sitting, was a lot of white sand, so like builder's sand kind of thing. So you can see that it is still a lot of the white sand in there with some of the darker stuff, which is compost and soil that is improving. So this end of the garden bed is very sandy, and things do grow in here, they just don't grow nowhere near as well. So this end of the bed I am working on, and you can see I have got a lot of compost down this end. There's 2 trailer loads, which is about 4 wheelbarrow fulls in here, because my little cart that I use carries about 2 wheelbarrow loads full. Now this end of the garden bed, this one had mulch put on it because the garden bed used to run this way along here, but I realized that the fruit trees that are stationed here and here behind me, and yes, there is a video on why they are so small. I'll link that for you guys in the description, or wherever I can link that for you to check that one out. So that had mulch on it. Now I don't have any more mulch at the moment, so it's not going to get more mulch. So, but this end of the garden bed, this is where all the weeds were growing really, really well, that I've just whippersnipped out and rotary hoeing up. So you can see this end of the bed, the soil is a lot darker. It's not as sandy. There is a lot of wood chips in here. They will break down over this as the season goes. So there is a large difference between this end of the garden bed and the other end of the garden bed. So I'm not putting as much in this end. I put one here and probably one where the quad is sitting at the moment, and the other end has got 2 barrows, 2 trailer loads in it. So because it needs that extra. So over the coming season, the soil will improve, and over this coming years, this soil will majorly improve. It's just going to be a matter of adding extra fertilizer during the seasons before this specific bed. Now my other beds are pretty good, except for snow pea, which needs a complete and utter redo and reweed, but that is completely different day, different video. I will let you guys know what I'm going to end up doing down in there. I'm still making that decision on what I'm doing with it. So but yeah, so this garden bed has huge difference between the 2 ends of the soil. Come the end of the season, I'll show you guys, hopefully I'll remember to show you guys the difference between the 2 ends, how they are now. There's a fly on my head, and how they've improved over the season. Well, it's pretty much just about done now. I've got the Retech system going beautifully, except for the wind is blowing it where I don't want it, and I have rotary hoed in the compost that I've put in there. I have a barrier around the majority of this bed. I have actually moved the tote that was sitting right here next to it, so it is now looking a lot nicer and cleaner out here. What's left? To put the trellis in, the temporary trellising in, and get some tomatoes in. So it is done, guys. The trellising's in. I want to say a major thank you to my husband Aaron and my daughter's partner James for helping me put the star pickets in and run the 3 lines of wire down here. It is a very simple setup. I have 3 star pickets for each row, 2 end ones and then 1 in the middle to support it all. You just run the wire down and twitch it off and tighten it all off, and there is the 3 rows that I'm going to plant my tomatoes in. So it's now time to get in and get these tomatoes done. So each of the tomato plants, I'm going to plant them straight underneath the bottom run. The bottom run is there to support the bottom part of the plant. And as the plant grows, I am going to use some string, and I will put another video up on that, guys, on how I'm going to be stringing up my plants this year so that they don't fall over into the walkway. So whilst I'm planting these in here, showing you guys, The tomato plants actually grow roots from any stems that hit the ground. So the ideal way to plant them in is to bury them up to just below, or as these ones are really quite tall and quite gangly, I'm doing about 2 to 4 inches into the ground depending on the size of the plant. This will help encourage more roots to grow on the bottom part of the tomato plant, and it will then also have a lot better stability as these tomato plants get bigger. That is it, guys. That is all I've had time to do today. I'll finish the last 2 sections down the back there tomorrow. As you're about to see, it has actually started raining, so I'm heading inside out of the rain. Guys, don't forget to check out the videos on the left here. Hit the subscribe button. Leave me a comment or two. Yes, that is rain. Down the bottom, and I will catch you on the next vid.